Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Screech Bob-Omb commentaries. Here we have the second round of the group stages of the Keyforge Premier League this season. And do you want to tell us who we have playing today, Callum?
Yep. So today we're looking at Dammat from Italian Resurgence versus BF Radar from Beerforge.
hmm So
So
we're
we're
gonna
gonna
we're gonna talk about Dammat's decks first today. Do you want to tell us how Dammat got here, Callum?
well, Dammat qualified by making the final of KFPL season one.
Of course he did. Yes, I
Uh,
remember recording quite a few of
so
his games last season.
uh,
Always an exciting
yeah, we
player.
we know they're a great adaptive player. The question here is, how are they in Triad? And looking
hmm
at these three decks, possibly pretty good.
Mm,
So let's start with K Miller, which is translated as K Miller, Eminence of Pecoramite.
nice.
And it's some coda.
That is some of the
Uh,
most cotery coter I have
yep.
ever seen.
Logo Shadows Untamed. All of the houses do the thing you expect them to do, and they do it very well.
Yeah, that's three mothers, interdimensional graft in the logos. The two
Yep.
big things I've got to look at that and just be like, yeah, okay, so gonna get a lot of cards and also be prepared for them getting a lot of ember.
It's also like three mothers, double sloppy lab work, and a lab work.
Yeah, oh god, yeah. So you're just gonna be like getting exactly the cards you need too. Yeah,
Yep.
brutal.
Shadows, Fagin, Triple Urchin, double Ghostly Hand.
Nerve blast
And
as well.
maybe lacking a TMTP you might expect to see, but I
Mhm.
think you're going to rush more than you'll stall to steal.
Yeah,
And then the
Fagin it here, but I can't see it really coming up that much. I can't imagine this game generally goes past 6 or 7 turns and Fagin reaping to get an urchin back just seems like a drop of the ocean with the amount of
yeah, like
degenerate things this deck is going to do.
you've gone Shadows. You've the turn before. You probably have a better hand of play effects and actions in a different house.
Yeah.
Then you're looking at the Untamed, which is two
Oh,
hunting witches, two nature's calls, a key charge, and a Choa.
Flaxier as well. I know I've
Blaxia.
been a little bit sick in my mouth at this point. This is just.
Uh, the common cold, just in case you run into any Mars decks.
Yeah, I mean, but you can feasibly be generating kind of like double digits of Ember in turn easily with this Untamed.
Yes,
Maybe able to forge two keys with like a Chota and a key
because
charge too.
you build it up with all the logos.
hmm
So
Yeah.
you have an 8 card hand with two mothers, and you archive three from earlier.
I mean,
Uh,
I think there's a lot of matchups where this deck just is unbeatable. Like if it gets the right draw, there's just nothing you can do to stop this deck
yeah,
from winning against you. You just gotta go
I think
right.
I think its big weakness is the creature control. There's some of the two nature's calls and the co-op hunting, but mostly it's lacking. That is one of the big weaknesses
Mm.
we see of Koa.
I think
In a
the
lot.
thing with the creature control as well is it's just a case of, well, you can do whatever you want with your board, but I'm going so fast that, mate,
So through expected Ember, that's just kind of how it goes.
yeah,
Uh, okay, let's move on. I'm going to talk about B.E. Wadsworth,
yeah,
which is B.E. Wadsworth, the Archer of Skepticism.
much more my kind of thing here. I'm much happier. My Kota Rage just subsided as I see, Worlds Collide Saurians. Mm.
Rage, you say, as I crack my knuckles. You complain. So this is some Saurian nonsense.
hmm
You've got Spiral Rex, which is obviously going to be pretty big,
mm.
potentially a game-winning combo in of itself, which could
Yep.
get extra crazy with the Dilophosaurus.
Yep. Synchronous Rex here. If there are no enemy creatures, destroy Synchronous Rex and fight. You may exalt Synchronous Rex. If you do, ready each other friendly card, not creature, which would have been reasonable, but card. And a golden
Yeah.
spiral, which is exalt a friendly creature and ready to use that creature, which means you're going to be using that Rex quite a few times.
I mean, I don't think ready each other creature would have been reasonable. That would also have been nonsense, but
That would
that's more contestable.
Yeah.
It
Also, just a
is,
trivium impossitus, which means that when it does get that exalt, its power is just going to go up and up too.
yeah, and a
So,
Scutum to whack on the Rex.
hmm yeah, I mean, that's just
And that's
gross.
even if you don't hit that, the rest of the dinos in combination are also going to be pretty good.
Oh god, yeah, like Imperium's really useful, kind of like some good like Trisyrian Legionary and auxiliary to protect your quested Jarters, your Philophosauruses, Odoax
Yeah.
to stop your opponent from stealing. Really nice cards.
The other two houses are also pretty good.
hmm
We have some very steely shadows.
We do
Uh,
indeed.
so you have the TMTP, double Ronnie wrist locks, Brend the Fanatic.
Yeah, I'm just
Uh,
looking at the shadows here. 38 sass in the shadows.
oof, and that's 10 more than the Spiral Rex Saurian.
Yeah. But
Oh, damn. It's 91 SAS total in this deck. I kind
yeah.
of see that now.
Also have a rigged lottery, which each player discards the top 5 cards of the deck. For each Shadows card discarded, its owner gains 1. Playing against an opponent playing Shadows could be really good here, especially with too much to protect.
Not a single Shadows deck against it today.
Not today. I think the one thing is you've got the Brand, but you've not got great ways of destroying it. Like, you've got no safety in numbers, but you need to have all 3 of your Shadows creatures out. You can maybe kill it with, say, like Harbinger of Doom. I think is the only actually other way you have of killing it yourself in this deck.
Yeah, you could exhume it at some point and then kill it.
You also have double a fair game too, so a lot of games this deck's playing, rigging lotteries, playing fair games.
And that's double fair game is spicy because that's obviously a big risk at any point, as is rigged lottery.
Yeah, I'll just read it. Discard the top card of your opponent's deck and reveal their hand. You gain 1 for each card of the discarded house revealed this way. Your opponent repeats the preceding effect on you. Good thing is you get to know what your opponent's hand is, though, which is always useful.
Very useful. Yeah, very strong. Potentially combos with the Evil Eye in the dis. So you hit the fair game, and then if they go too high in the keys, you hit them with the Evil Eye.
Yeah, and then next turn you could hit him with the too much to protect as well.
Yeah, or just make them pay the 9. Yeah, that's real gross. And the rest of the dis is pretty handy as well, right? Exhume, Poltergeist, Buzzles, thin your deck out a little bit.
Yep. Harbinger if you ever need that board clear, but I think you'd be wary about putting the Harbinger on, not wanting your Saurian board to get destroyed unless you actually want it to.
Yeah, it feels like if you're playing the Harbinger, you're in trouble.
Yeah, very true. But
lacks speed again, but huge expected Ember once more.
Yeah, and with the ability to steal like it can, and kind of like you've got some good ways of increasing key cost in dis and stuff like that. Yeah, I think you just kind of like you're just gonna be playing fire turns over and over again, even with a speed of 3.3.
I think we'll see that deck earn its sass.
I think we definitely will.
Although it's 1 less than the Kota one, which is
yeah. And finally, we have Lila la Special de la Biblioteca Ballerina. Can I guess? Is it Lila the special ballerina of the library?
That is approximately what Google Translate told me, yes. Special of the ballerina library, which doesn't quite seem right, but whatever. So this is just a strong all-round mass mutation deck that has 25 speed.
Yes.
So we'll just go through all of its available tools very quickly because you've got the DAV, got 8 mutants, decent number. Got an autoencoder, 7 draw pips,
double QMax as well.
Double QMax, double New Frontiers. If you're fancying a bit of a gamble.
New Frontiers, I'm not kind of a big fan of. I'm not a fan of cards that like potentially discard your cards without you being able to play them. That's always just me.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's hit and miss for sure. I've seen it really go off, and I've seen people discard 3 of like a different house that's very important and it's costing the game. But if you're going through your deck so quickly as this will, it's probably less of a problem.
Yeah. So got the transporter platform in the Star Alliance with the subject Kirby. Teleport Chief Tink there has a draw icon, as does the blast shielding, I believe, or was it the blast shielding had a draw icon and the Tink had a capture icon.
Multiple enhanced upgrades, which is kind of what you're looking for with the transporter platform.
Most definitely is, yeah.
Having a look at this now, we do see a Rad Penny with a capture and a draw on it.
Oh, we do, don't we? God, yes.
Just having a look at the enhancements is very spicy.
And like potentially stuff like being able to do subject Kirby with stuff like that too could be really nasty.
You get 2 hits with the subject Kirby and 2 draws with the DAV. And the Ember control is pretty good. You've got double bonus thing, Rad Penny. You've got the creature control you want with the BDQ, the Red Alert, and a few other bits. It's just very good all round, I think. There's nothing this deck really struggles with. It doesn't have artifact control, but I think that's it.
Yeah, I think this is the thing that all 3 of these decks are very much decks you want to be on the front foot with. You want to be driving the game. You want to be like saying, right, I'm going to be making the problems for you. You've got to find the solutions. And I think a lot of decks are going to struggle to find solutions against these.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like you're just going to have the responses to most things.
Very much so. Right. I think we should move on and talk about Dammat's opponent, which is BF Raider's decks. You want to tell us how BF Raider got here, Callum?
I would, but I don't know. I usually have this information to hand, but I do not today, unfortunately.
Not a problem.
Pretty sure they came through one of the qualifiers.
Oh, very nice.
But they have a solid set of triad decks. So we'll start with
They definitely do.
Vitheon,
The
Ringleader,
ringleader of the Peculiar Fires.
which is, my notes just say all pips, no speed. In that it has 24 Ember pips just on cards.
Yeah, and no fertility chant there either. That is just kind of like ones and twos. I mean, 9 Ember pips given by, I think it's like the Gloriana's Attendants here.
It's like
Wild
double
Bounties.
Gloriana's Attendant, double Wild Bounty. And so you pretty much just want to be playing as many cards as you can on a given turn and just going through everything because you'll just generate so much Ember in doing it because of the sheer number of pips.
Yeah.
And you just need to slow down and control your opponent a little bit to get there.
Which I think you've definitely got the capability to do. You've got cards like her Mark of Dis. You've got a break key to slow them down a bit. Gleeful Mayhem, really good board control. Infernus, Snudge, great, all great cards.
Triple Subdue.
Yeah.
Just to be stunning a bunch of stuff.
I think especially looking at decks, say like that Saurian deck we were talking about earlier, being able to like kind of put stuns on the kind of key cards, and that can be a very powerful thing.
Yeah, just delay it for a turn even. That's all you kind of need.
Yeah, exactly.
Some potential things to look out for that could be quite entertaining. There's a double Wild Bounty, and one of them has an enhanced pip on. It's got an Ember pip. So you could Wild Bounty into a Wild Bounty into a double pip Reclaimed by Nature and do hilarious things. Whether you line that up, don't know, because again, no speed.
We discussed this before, and you think that Reclaim by Nature, the card that you reclaim doesn't add to the pips that can benefit Wild Bounty, is what we think is the case. Because that was my query.
I'm pretty sure because it's resolve each of its bonus icons an additional time, and Reclaim by Nature is resolve its bonus icons as if you had played it. Right, so it's the card, the its would refer to Reclaim by Nature.
Right, okay, no, that makes sense. We also have like just useful cards. You have Savage Clash, great card to have, give that board control. Blossom Drake could be pretty key here in this matchup. You've got quite a few artifacts in kind of all 3 of Dammat's decks, I believe. No, not in the Kota, but definitely the World's Collide and the Mass Mutation. The artifacts are very important to their play. Blossom Drake could definitely be key in some of these matchups.
Reclaimed even better. Just get it out of the game for good.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
Definitely will.
Then we have Morgan, Padre de la Casita Afamada. Morgan, father of the famed Little House.
That's a nice. I like that name. That's nice. But this is again
some
of that Lakota.
Yep. I mean, we say this a lot when we commentate on these decks because I think it's because Kota's been out longer. The archetypes have been more distilled into what each house does kind of the best.
Yeah.
So they look quite similar, right? And here we see Dis instead of Shadows.
I think that's the thing with Kota actually is just that Kota, for want of a better term, has always been solved in that saying like the best Kota decks are the kind of rush decks that we see here, or the kind of maybe like the Shadows and Discontrol decks. And those are the kind of 2 big things that come out of the Kota, and you tend to get not much else, which is why we kind of like say kind of like, not with a sigh, I think that's not wrong, but I think we always like look at Kota and like, yes, Kota.
Okay, I'm sighing a little. I'm sighing a little bit.
I'm sighing internally. I hide it better.
Possibly. So, I mean, we have 16 speed here. You've got some Logos, massive library access turn potential because you've got a phase shift and a wild wormhole.
Indeed, yeah.
Double Dr. Escatera, double Titan mechanic, Neutron Shark, handy.
Very handy, yeah, to getting rid of those artifacts. Looking at the Dis, Poltergeist as well, get rid of artifacts there. Shaffles, Ember Imp, Drumble, all deeply annoying imps that you see capturing Ember, stopping your opponent playing cards, and just straight up past Shaffles, and then making your opponent lose Ember as well.
Yep. And the Untamed is double Hunting Witch, Dust Pixie, Shadow Hattery, Regrowth, get a Niflate back for the Hunting Witch turn. It's just going to generate a lot of Ember pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, definitely will. I think Troop Call. Yeah, no, you can do it from play as well. So you can play the Niflate, return it from play it again. Which is pretty nice.
Worth noting that this deck did start off life as a lands combo deck. So there's something to Pen Seed as well.
Of course it does. Yeah, back in the heady days of
so perhaps has been in the Beer Forge competitive lineup for a while. And the Nepsy is obviously could be incredibly useful in a number of circumstances
Yeah.
still.
And you are seeing that this is a 3 power deck, despite it only having 3 chains on it. So it's clearly won something reasonably big. I think I didn't that store or prime champ level in the past as well.
Maybe. I think you get 3 power for playing it in a vault or.
Oh, that too, maybe that too. But I think definitely a deck
But
with
yeah,
pedigree, I would say here.
pedigree. Love that.
Pedigree,
Is
word
that
of
a
the
word
day.
of the day?
I think
Yeah.
so. I think we make that.
Pedigree it is. So then we move on to the final deck we're looking at, which is Persephone, Pirate of the Gentile Monument.
Ah, very nice.
And speaking of pirates, we do begin with the Red Baron.
One of my favorite cards in Keyforge. Very rarely. So I've yet to get a Red Baron deck. If anyone has a Red Baron deck that they would like to send me to look at, I would definitely consider buying it because I would love to have one just to add to the collection.
So I couldn't quite figure out this deck. My powers of analysis were failing me a little bit because it has lots of stuff in it that could be potentially useful, but doesn't quite seem to add up, right? So
So
you've got the
sorry, you
Oh,
go, Callum.
go for it. You've got the EE, but no archiving to build up that big turn. You've got double exhume, but nothing. I don't know what you exhume that often. Maybe a Kirby, maybe a Hugger Mugger. You've got TMTP, but not that much other steel to go with it.
So I think this deck, what this deck does is, and I think it's what this is, this deck is like a toolbox, and you have kind of answers in every house. So you've got, say for example, you've got like 3 fates and say like harbinger of and core of subordination and dis to deal with creatures. You've got, for example, like hit and run and oubliette in shadows. You've got like zaps in Star Alliance, which are really good at dealing with stuff. You've then got like you've got ember control in each house. You've got your too much to protect, your hug among us, like you say. You've got your E. You've got your rock grubs in dis. You've got your Zeno trading and Kinken and Garcia in Star Alliance. And you've also got in Kirby a really good way to kind of glue everything together and make those like kind of like mixed turns you get a lot of time in Star Alliance interesting. So you've got like zooming the Kirby and being able to do stuff like that.
Yeah, so if you have an answer that's not in the house you want to play that turn, you can then either play a Kirby or exhume a Kirby just to get it out there and get that little bit of extra efficiency.
Yeah, I think this deck is going to be a really interesting one to watch because I think it does just have a lot of ways of just kind of like bothering your opponent, and it's like kind of taking their creatures with color subordination. It's kind of like doing all these things that just kind of like disrupt your opponent's plans in a really good and annoying way. That if your deck has a game plan and if your deck is trying to do a certain thing, this deck is excellent at stopping that. Like Key Forgery is another one, for example. Really good at just kind of like just disrupting your opponent and just kind of making that take that extra turn and potentially give your this deck the way of kind of like this building up and just kind of snowballing. And with 18 pips, definitely capable of snowballing like that.
Yeah. And potentially it's going to set you up nicely for the TMTP.
Exactly. So yeah, I think that's what I'd say this deck does. I think it'd be really. I'm really interested to watch this deck, and I hope it doesn't get banned because I think this deck does look very interesting, and I'm not entirely sure how it's going to play, but I think we're going to see some really fascinating plays coming out of this deck.
Yeah, and it's a particular style of play, right? Like I much prefer decks that have a forward game plan. Like I know what I need to do X, Y, Z to win the game.
Yeah, see, this is much more my kind. This is much more my speed. I don't like going against the forward game plans because if it gets disrupted, I tend to go be like, oh god, my plans are over. I much prefer playing a deck where I'm like, right, I know that I just need to not lose, and eventually I'll win with this deck, and I'm really good at stopping the other person from doing their thing and just kind of like slowly grinding my way into my position, building up a board. And this is exactly the kind of deck that does that.
Yeah. So ban choices. I don't know here, as I think all decks, and you can see from the ridiculously high average SAS, like I think 81 is the lowest in the matchup of any six.
Yeah.
I think if you're Dammat, you probably ban Ringleader. I think it's going to be the fastest, it's going to generate Ember the quickest, and given all of your decks are also pretty rushy, then you go for the one that could keep up basically, and just hope you can outpace the other decks.
Yes, this is a pre-recorded game that I recorded last night, so I actually know which decks are going to be banned. So I'm going to leave Callum to theorize on this and leave him in the wind a bit.
As you sit there knowing whether I think I look dumb or not,
Yeah,
I think if your BF Radar could have the same logic, could easily ban the fastest and therefore just go for the Kura Rush. I think it depends on how well you feel you are able to deal with Spiral Rex shenanigans. If you think you're not going to have that much of a problem, if you think, like, right, I don't have to worry about that, I've got the creature control, or I don't need creatures with XYZ deck, then you could probably let that go through. But that's a choice that they'll have make knowing the decks. And I will put in my usual disclaimer that maybe they know the decks better and therefore know something about them that, I mean, they know their own decks better and are therefore able to make a better, more informed choice as to the ban than perhaps we might, having looked at it for 20 minutes.
Well, I think that's a good chat. And final thing, who do you think's going to win the matchup?
If you're going to push me, I will put it on Dammat. I think just the decks seem slightly more ridiculous. They're all pretty ridiculous, but they seem to have the slight edge.
Yeah, as much as I do usually like to be contrary, I kind of would also say to Matt, I mean, you can't argue with two like over 90 SAS decks and just all three just look like brutal, fast-paced decks. So you can just get the draws, or you just can't do anything. So I would agree with that. But now let's go to the game and see who's correct.
Indeed.
Right there. Welcome to the game portion of the episode. We have BF Raider on the top of your screen playing Morgan Padre della Casita Affamada, and we have Dammat 96 on the bottom of your screen playing K Miller Eminenza di Pecoramite.
So it's some traditional Kota.
It is, indeed.
So my ban predictions were wildly wrong.
We see Hunting Witch straight off the bat from Dammat. That is a bold choice, I'd say.
Turn one.
Mm-hmm.
Can they deal with it? That's the question.
It is.
Some creature control in Morgan.
Definitely.
But not much that would just take out a single creature. You've got like wipes mostly.
Okay. Maybe that's Dammat
like,
kind of taking that into account then, thinking, you know what, if they have to use a wipe to get rid of my Hunting Witch, fine. If they don't want to do that, great. I'm going to make a bunch of Ember next turn.
And they've got a logo, so unless we see a neutron shard coming down, that is sticking.
Phase shift.
Oh, phase shift.
Into a Dust Pixie. Bold choice. I suppose with the regrowth though, like, you're quite okay doing that really if it gets taken out.
This game could be over.
No, that's not what you want to see at all.
Oh no, that.
Oh Christ.
Boy. Do you remember when we like you won't play Shadows much?
Mm-hmm.
I think they might be playing Shadows here.
I mean, I think so. That Hunting Witch is now going to be much harder to kill all of a sudden, which means that if you get a Logos turn next, then getting even more Ember by doing that. That is brutal.
Okay, what
is it? Library of Babel to draw a card. Got to be hoping for a Neutron Shark here. A Titan Mechanic. Doctor SK, yeah, wanted to get it off the flank. Kind of stopped him at forging this turn, but that's all they can do. And we are going to see, fighting the Hunting Witch, just getting some damage on that Shadow Self. It just didn't fight the Shadow Self. I would have thought that would have been better not have the damage on the Titan Mechanic.
Yeah, occasionally slight brain slip with that.
And that's the turn. Oh, this could get out of hand quick. I mean, not the best mass amber control in Raider's deck either, as far as I remember.
Nope, it's got almost nothing. There's a Drumble, which is what would bring him down, but that's pretty much it.
And that's very temporary as well. Is the issue. So yeah, Dammat thinking here, and we'll see depending on what he's got in his hand. You might just be tempted to see a Shadows turn, really, fight that Urchin into something, reap with a Fagin. We thought we wouldn't be seeing the Fagin being used, but stealing that last Ember from BF Raider.
I mean, just reap, you can still pick up the Urchin if it's on the board as well, right?
I mean, more just like, I'd say I'd fight it into, like, maybe the Dust Pixie, maybe like the Escatera, just because then you can reap with the Fagin, get it back in your hand, steal one, and gain one from the Hunting Witch.
You can get it back from play.
Oh, cool. Yeah, of course you can.
Extra dumb.
I've never had a Fagin deck, unfortunately. We are going to see lab work. Nature's Call. Oof.
Wild wormholes into the Nature's Call.
Yeah, just return that Escatera into mechanics.
Just make it much harder for them to find the answers.
Just for the playing a graph just for the Ember. That's when you know the game is going well.
Yeah, this matchup's just a race, really.
And it's a race that Dammat has had a very good start to.
If turn one Hunting Witch.
And the thing here is just clogging up Raider's hand with those Logos cards as well. It means that if he wants to play like a disc turn to play that Drumble, his hand is now just full of Logos that he doesn't want to play.
Yeah, the Escatera gets a slightly better, but... No, not looking good.
No, not at all.
And this is one of the reasons why, like, I would have, I think, banned this deck, because it's just like it can just do this. It can just win automatically in some draws.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I
I mean,
think the
he
Hunting
says
of
this
Witch
now.
Dammat turn was quite bold, I think, and I think could have gone wrong, but I think it was clearly very sensible by Dammat going, well, if he doesn't remove this, then I've got a great Shadows turn, and if he does remove it, I've still probably got a great Shadows turn, to be honest.
Yeah, like I've done that in decks with stuff like Hunting Witch, stuff like Helms and Spears.
Mm.
Just gamble on not having an answer turn one.
And we only see Troop Call, just for the Ember, Reap with the Dust Pixie, and that's it.
Bit of a burst from BF Radar,
Yeah,
but
we know he's got, say, like, what, 3 Logos cards at least in that hand? Did he draw anything there? I didn't see.
Nope, drew no cards.
Yeah, and I just can't see how he's going to get out of this pickle here, really. Yeah, going to return that Fagin, play it again, reap again. Not even bothering to kill the Hunting Witch. Just being like, whatever. Like,
Yeah,
you're not winning
I
this
mean,
race.
yeah, probably not. This is probably over.
This is brutal. And
Okay,
you haven't seen the key charge or the Choto Hazri here either.
Nope.
Which
So
you've got to think
next turn could probably just key charge and
yeah,
win.
Dammat saying that is a perfect start and apologising. I think I'm not usually one for saying apologising in key forge. I usually tend to find it not that, but I think in this case it's very warranted because this is an absolute mugging.
I mean, this is kind of what happens, right, with some of these high level decks. Is why often people have these SAS cap events, because at a certain level, decks just become unstoppable if you draw properly.
Yeah, I think this is a lot of people's criticism of kind of Kota Rush is that the issue is you get games like this where functionally, no matter what deck you're playing against this, there is very little you can do to stop this start from Dammat. Like, if you have TMTPs, if you have grafts, you can kind of slow it down, but this is just so... You actually have to draw those firstly in like the first 2 turns in this case, and yeah.
Yeah.
We do see the GG there from BF Raider.
No key charge, so it is going to take him 6 turns to win, but
yeah, no, BF Raider just concedes, and it's just like
that's the game.
I can't do anything. Yeah,
impossible. 6 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah, that was
swift.
Yeah. Right, we will move on to the second game then. See you for that. Okay, welcome to the second game. As we once again have BF Raider on the top of the screen with Persephone, Parata del Monumento Gentile, so has changed decks, so and Dammat obviously having to change deck too.
Always a choice in Triad, whether a switch or not. I'm a switcher, but a lot of KFPL people haven't been.
I am also a switcher, but I'm not in the KFPL, so.
Ox. Awkward moments.
But yeah, here we are waiting for the game to start, and that was after seeing that brutal start from Dammat. Can BF Raider kind of get going in this second game?
Deep breaths, center yourself, try and bring it back. So we have Spiral Rex stuff potentially coming from Dammat.
Yep.
And we have a series of responses essentially in a deck in Persephone, Pirate of the Gentile Monuments, being played by BF Raider.
Yep, and we saw both Mass Mutation decks were banned in the end as well.
Interesting.
We're going to see Dis from BF Raider straight off the bat. What are we going to have coming out of there? It's interesting. Not the house I'd expect to see turn 1. A lot of responses in Dis, but not the most proactive house. Really.
Yeah, I'm already thinking that might be a sign that he does not have a good hand.
Red Baron could be a good one just to get out on the board. Obsidian Forge, great one to get out nice and early. And Harbinger of Doom. Ooh, interesting. And we do see the Red Baron too. Harbinger of Doom is a bold one, but I can kind of see the logic here in that you having that makes the setting up the Saurian so much harder, because at any point you can have BF Raider can just go, right, too much story, and I'm going to run this into one of your things and destroy everything and make that Rex turn
Yeah.
much worse.
But pretty simple response from Dammat. Steals
Yeah.
an Ember, plays in safety numbers, and just shuffles both those back into the deck.
But not a great turn from Dammat there, to be honest. So I think
No.
Be Afraid can't be too mad that he slowed him down a bit, but very cagey turns. 2 card turns here. I think maybe both players not had the best opening hands, as we do see those Saurians starting to come out with the Legionary, the Giata, and the Auto Legionary, the Tricerian Legionary at the same time here. Not saying we do see that Rex come out.
Yeah, so Be Afraid I was faced with a choice here.
Hmm.
You really want to get rid of that Rex, I think.
Yeah, I think if you go Dis, you use the Obsidian Forge to destroy your Garcia. If you go Saurian, you run it into something to destroy it. I Starlance rather, sorry. I don't think
Shadows.
I want to leave that Cincinnatus Rex alive at all.
The
Oh,
hit and
return
run
with
will
a hit
do
and
it.
run. Very good.
Nice. So the Garcia comes back to hand.
Mhm.
Cincinnati Rex goes away, and that threat is off the board for the time being.
Yes. I wouldn't have used the 2 damage on the Rex there, because you could
Yeah,
have
you could
you
have
could have knocked a ward off a Legionary, because that Rex is going to die either way. Like, it's not. There's no way if that's living. We placed it too much to protect just for the Ember.
bold.
Very bold, and we are going to see a
We are
Saurian
gonna.
turn.
This
And
Saurian board is a problem.
I think to Matt here, they've got to be very glad that he got rid of that Rex when he did there, because this could have started to get a bit out of hand.
If
Not
he,
not that many creatures in Raider's deck though. To really benefit from the Rex, you also need your opponents to have a decent sized board to fight multiple times, and Raider not really having that.
it is getting a sort of very mixed start so far.
Mm-hmm.
Now with the TMTP gone, I think it'd be very tempted if you're Dammat to just go for some Saurians.
Yeah, I think that's what I would be doing here. You've got the Philophosaurus down. I'd maybe use, say, the Legionary to hit the Eterome.
Yeah,
I said the Legionary, the Tricerian Legionary to hit the Eterome, not the Auto Legionary.
it is a rule of thumb that the guys on Tabletop Real often had, and that they developed during their big Worlds Collide Seal tournament, which is C4 Saurians, use 4 Saurians.
Mm-hmm.
But we are getting a display just to put the Rex back in there.
Oh no! Oh
Yeah,
no!
just in
Oh
case,
dear! Oh dear!
you thought you were done with that, didn't you?
And of course, the Auto Legionary is every house as well, and Matt plays the Exhume.
Oof, gains 4 Ember, I
Mm-hmm.
think, from that. And only gives his
Was
opponent 2.
Yeah,
And the TMTP is gone.
and discards the stealth mode as well, which I think Be Afraid is not really
Yeah.
too thrilled about. Does have quite a decent Starlight's turn here, though it looks like you can play most of that hand apart from the Red Baron, and get the Garcia's Blaster on Garcia to steal a bit. Not the
Yep.
best turn, and I don't think Be Afraid is gonna be too happy about the situation he's in, but definitely not out of this game yet at all.
And helpfully for you, the fair game revealed the TMTP
It did,
that
yeah.
Matt is holding in his hand. So that's good knowledge. That is very useful.
Yeah, I think just want to stick at 7 now. Doesn't want to go any higher than that.
It's going to 8.
Goes to 8. I think that's fine with the CMTP. Like, not too thrilled about it, but yeah, increase the key cost for Matt. Steal 1. Good solid play
response.
from
Good
Beef Raider.
response.
Yeah.
Could have gone very wrong very quickly there. We are not going to see shadows. He's going to steal
TMTP
the TMTP.
and the Hawk. Probably Obsidian Forge. I think. Yeah, we do see the Obsidian
Yeah.
Forge, and a spike trap of Damat's own coming down. Spike traps abound.
Spiky.
We are, I think, going to see BF Raider Forge here, though, unless Damat has a way to stop it.
Pretty sure, yeah. Nothing coming.
Yeah, but Cloaking Dongle, obviously, on the Comos of Kirby. I think Damat must have missed that there, I would think, because I can't think why he'd not just reaped otherwise.
Yeah, I think a commonly missed upgrade. It's got
Definitely,
me
yeah.
many times.
It's same as well.
But straight back to 8, having forged for 8.
Yes. And it's hard to say without knowing BF Raider's hand here what you do. It's difficult because most likely this Kirby and Garcia are going to die next turn due to the spike trap. So do you try and get the most use out of them possible now, or do you maybe say get some damage on the Legionary or the Lilithal, or no? Do you go? Who's going Dis here? And ooh, takes the Lilithal. Maybe gonna get some biffs on that Tribune Pompatus just to capture one.
I mean, that seems like a mistake to me. You could have had the auto legionary and had a lovely omni creature.
You could have done, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, maybe once type 2 has like the capture that the Lilithal can give. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's probably it. I guess if you know you need to take them off check here, which you may have to.
yeah, and being able to get a discard with the collar subordination always very good. That's because you use the card that you collar. But yeah, didn't discard the Malison to get a steal.
But yeah, could have used the auto legionary. But yeah, it might be about keeping them off check, which I think you do need to do.
Yeah, we're gonna purge that Exhume from Dammat's deck. Put that with first steal, and then discarding the Red Baron.
Sad times. I think
Mm,
I'd take that as a personal affront if I were
I
you.
will do. I'll bring this up with BF Raider later, and say, well, what's going on here? Discarding a Baron, disgraceful. But yeah, we get the Reap with the Lilithal for the capture to knock Dammat off check.
Yeah, I assume that's what that was about.
But still, those four Saurians on Dammat's board, and knowing that he's got the Sinister's Rex in hand too. But does get the E and the Lilithal either side to protect that Commonwealth of Kirby and the E on the fringes from the Spike Trap.
So it
Uh,
does have the option of Garcia-ing later.
Potentially. And I've got to think that either you're going to get the Garcia destroyed by a Saurian turn, like Philosaurus is enraged. So, maybe biff the Sensor Chief with it just to get that enrage off and then kill it with a Legionary or something. Or with the
Potentially, yeah. We
Pompatus.
haven't seen much shadows other than the TMTP turn.
No, not.
No, we haven't seen much dissing. It's been a mixed bag, so it could be anything coming here, I think.
Yeah, I got to think maybe Saurian though would be. We know it was obviously Saurian. You know me.
It's true. You do love the big
I
dinos.
do love them boys. Them large dinos. But maybe Legionary to hit the Lilithal is what I may be seeing. Philophosaurus and like Pompatus to kill the EE, and then use a Spike Trap would be
Oh,
my thought.
you could hit the Lilithal, then Spike Trap, because that gets rid of the cloaking dongle.
Ooh, yeah, and then kill the. Yeah, I like that much more. Yeah, then kill the Garcia. I think that would be what. Yeah, that'd be what I'd do. Gonna fight it. I assume he's gonna exalt the.
Oh no, because that's also elusive. So you
Yeah,
just have to fight that twice.
yeah. But I think maybe now we'll see the Spike Trap, like you say, and then um, Blophosaurus to kill the Garcia. Oh, we see the Odoac to capture one, stop the steal, and skew him on the Odoac. Um, and
Yep.
not playing this Incineroar's Rex here, just gonna keep it in
But
hand.
does get to reap with the. How do you know they have it in hand?
They exhumed it earlier, didn't they? Oh no, I thought
Not
they
finished
bought
with
it.
you.
They did something with it.
They
Yeah.
they played not finished with you,
Oh,
so
was
it's
it
in the
not
deck.
finished with you?
Might not
Oh,
be in.
my apologies.
And because he got rid of all the creatures, does in fact get to reap nicely with the Philophosaurus.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
And BF Radar is looking at a hefty Saurian board that
Yeah.
needs an answer pretty
And
quickly.
I don't think he really has great answers to this. I mean, he's already, the Harbinger is back in the deck, so he might have
Harbinger's
redrawn
back in the
that,
deck.
but he's
But
not got a way of destroying that within this.
you would have wanted the Obsidian Forge. This is
Yeah,
the
and the
thing.
Scene Force obviously hopped earlier.
Yeah. 3 Fates would do some work.
3 Crit would do a lot of work here, yeah, so would kill that Brutodon, the Odoac, and your choice of Legionaries as well.
But the pause that's happening indicates that they might not have it.
No, I would suggest not. And obviously we said like, that BF Raider has a deck that has a lot of options here. And I think he's been kind of been playing to these options as well as he can do. But Dammat just getting out this Saurian board is always really difficult to deal with, especially when you've got that Harbinger of Doom, but it's a slow board wipe kind of thing. It's not the kind of board wipe that's the easiest one to just kind of like pull off um and throw everything. Mm.
A bit of a sad spike trap.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've got to think then he doesn't have the three fates. 'Cause I think if he did have the three fates, he would have hit the auxiliary patrician and Tricerian, destroyed those three, and then
There's
used
the
the spike
spike
trap to
traps,
kill the
yeah.
auto legionary, is what I would have expected. So I've got to think he doesn't have that. And I don't know what else he would have in dis at the moment that would be that useful. I mean, he discarded a lot of its to E earlier. We saw, and we see the exhume.
Uh,
What are you be exhuming here?
Garcia.
Oh,
Oh,
come off the
Kirby.
Kirby.
Love that play.
Yeah,
But
and
what are
then
they
this is what
bringing
we
down?
probably are going to see, and we can see a mug as well, possibly on the Odoak. Well, the only one that has an ember on it is the Odoak, so I've got to think there. That's where that's going. And yeah, get that ember back in the pool. And Soul Fiddle. I'm rating the Auto Legionary.
But ultimately, we're just going to get another Saurian
I
turn.
think yeah, I'm just
Where
gonna reap all sick. I mean, fight probably with Pompetus,
Legionary,
maybe.
yeah.
Legionary, yeah, there you go.
And
And then
then
just
reap
reap
5
out.
times, do some Philosophaurus nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, you still got the Xena training in Star Alliance to help with, but got to think if you'd had that, you would have used it last turn.
Yeah, I
Not
think this game just sort of comes down to bad luck in where your board answer was, because you got the Harbinger really early and then it was reshuffled
Oh,
and
and
then
there's
you
that
couldn't
second
find it.
Odoak coming down as well. I was thinking a Hugger Mugger as well could have done something here, but that's put the kibosh on that one.
And I think that's probably it.
I think we are going to see shadows coming down. Oh, you got
Hugger Mugger, but
no
can't
safety
steal.
in numbers, but yeah, can't steal with a Hugger Mugger. And yeah, there you go.
There we go.
That's the end of the game.
Quick, brutal Saurian beatdown.
It was indeed. Yeah, just
Uh,
couldn't getting that Harbinger early and getting it Chimera Eclipse, I think was really big. I think without that you
yeah,
maybe could have been able to like kind of like get that into something.
just reset the board basically and come back. I just don't think there's
Exactly.
anything Be Afraid I could have really done there.
No, not really. It was a shame. I think he played well to his outs though. You know, he got that key, he got one key out of it, and he was kind of like still kind of like working around it. But it's just that second Odoak coming down really put paid to it. And yeah, so obviously this game has gone to only 2 matches, and I think we've been discussing as Scooch Bomb commentaries is we've realised that if we leave it here, you can kind of see the end of the videos coming up and be very aware that it's gone to 2 matches, and it will become very obvious who has won. In this case, obviously Dammat. Big congratulations to him. So what we're going to start doing is me and Callum is going to play a quick sealed game on TCO at the end, kind of chat about what happened in the game, what our thoughts were. Feel free to watch this if you want. You know, we'll be chatting about the game. If you don't want to watch that though, feel free to leave now. You won't miss any more information about the KFPL or the games. This is literally just an aid so you can't tell whether a match goes to 3 games or not.
Yeah, we might have to do 2 because game 1 was very, very quick.
I think that's less of an issue though, because you obviously with game 1 being quick, you'll still see there's a game 2, so that should be fine.
This is true. I've set up a game. Password
Okay.
is KFPL.
Not a problem. I'm gonna come and find that.
So now you get to judge my terrible sealed play. I am very much the sort of player who will get a deck that I like and grind out endless amounts of games with it.
What was the password again, friend?
KFPL.
KFPL. Yeah, I like sealed. I'm a big. Is it in caps or anything?
Yes, I think I read
Oh,
it
it is in
caps.
caps. Okay. Why would you do such a thing?
To accord the Keyforge Premier League the proper amount of respect.
Right. Let's see what we got here. Ooh. That was a chuff ape, so you know it's good.
I think I will keep that starting hand.
I'll do a hot mulligan of that. Oh, it's a little better. Hang on, I'm just gonna turn the cards bigger. There we go. Ooh, oh, mass mutation, you scallywag.
Mass mutation indeed.
Yeah, we'll go this.
Oh, some coda.
Yeah, I played that in the wrong order. Oh well.
Got some bad news for you, friend.
Oh, cool.
It's coming.
Is it? Are you sure?
Yeah, very.
All right. No worries.
Just opening hand Niflcorn. And as I worked out some math for some other things, because I also have a Niflcorn deck, it's about 1 in every 16 or 17 games.
Oh, really?
That will jump. Yeah, because if you to get like 2 of the 3 pieces required.
Oh, damn, it's flank. Oh, bollocks. I didn't realize it was flank creatures.
I cunningly anticipated this.
With the Holland mind lock? Really? I don't believe you.
Genius level
I
plays.
don't believe that's the case at all. I think that was blind luck.
No, pure skill. Held that.
Why I order? Oh well, at least I took one of you stupid monkeys.
I'm just gonna get it back.
Yeah, but grumble, grumble, grumble. Why I order? Oh, Christ.
It was a pretty good start, not gonna lie. Felt pretty good. Do I actually reap here? Let's take a cheeky gamble.
Oh, you son of a biscuit.
Oh, that's an interesting effect, that because the Song of the Wild was on the Niflate was on the other side of the board when I played Song of the Wild, it didn't get the Song of the Wild effect.
No, it didn't. I cleverly thought of that and didn't.
That was pretty clever, pretty useful.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Yeah, no, we need to do it. I see your monkey and raise you a slightly worse monkey.
I would say a considerably worse monkey.
Hey, don't say you'll hurt his feelings. He's a good monkey. He's just confused.
He's a much worse monkey.
You're a much worse monkey.
Also true. Let's be honest. That's 11 power. Yeah, okay.
Don't know the way you said that.
It's gonna die.
Yeah, I'm guessing smite is. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Seems unnecessary to. Why did you? Oh, steal one. Okay.
Yeah, I'll steal one.
Fair.
And I get to destroy an artifact as well, which is pretty good. And do this.
No, my artifacts. No. Rude.
Just.
Oh, but yeah.
Does feel like this is lined up pretty nicely for me so far.
Has it? I didn't notice.
Yeah, I think it's gone pretty well.
Well, you know what? Monkey's gonna fucking die, mate.
No, my boy.
Yeah, well, you're dead. Boy,
I knew I should have taken out the mother gun.
Did you? Oh, man, I did it the wrong way around. I'm very good at Keyforge, I promise.
I have no further comment to that. That doesn't sound mean, as if I didn't just like draw ridiculously well.
Oh, come off it! Come on.
Yeah, I mean, we played some games. We saw some games where everything lined up in the draw for one
boo,
person.
I say, boo.
Yeah, it's
well,
deserved.
You didn't go to a thing anyway, so it's not the worst thing in the world.
No, but I will do it a second.
Oh, will you?
Maybe.
Played some Sanctum recently, so. Oh, but then Shadows is pretty isn't great. Yeah, let's go Shadows. No, leave my cards alone.
No.
You monster. You damned monster.
My choice here is a Wild Wormhole, a Multigun, or a Hysteria. Feel free to judge my decisions when watching this video later.
Yeah, I think we do that.
It's going to be particularly bad when I lose still this game.
I don't think you will, friend.
I mean, it's not. It doesn't look likely at the moment, but
you're okay.
I'm probably okay. Prob's okay.
I mean, Code is not really my style anyway, and Mars definitely isn't. So meh. Oh, you.
Yeah, this deck. We could actually have a look at the sass of the decks after this.
I'm good about never thinking about this deck's existence ever again, really.
Fair enough.
Ooh, nice.
Well, it's a 59 SAS, so
Okay, mine I think is worse.
that's concerning. None of these seem great.
No, mine probably isn't actually. I think I've just gotten very poor draws. Really, I think mine's actually not that bad.
It's quite hard to beat the turn 1 Niflgong.
It is very true. Oh, you absolute, you meanie. No, but stop it. Stop it.
No, I don't want to.
What? Stop it.
I even gave you an number. What more do you want from me?
I want my brain eater to be able to... Oh, yeah, you've won now.
No boots for you.
He
No
had
fun at
little
all.
boots. Why do you hate
I
his
know,
little boots?
I know he had little boots, but I'm sorry, rocket boots are a class 6 prescribed weapon.
Oh, well, whatevs.
Or, shout out to the UK Keyforge Discord, a vehicle.
They are a vehicle.
Spoilers, they're not really a vehicle.
I will fight you. Okay. That was good. But yeah, so that was what this is what normally us playing Keyforge sounds like. Just a lot of I hate you and everything you stand for.
Do we need to do another one? Because that was only like 8 minutes.
No, yeah,
How much
but
more?
I mean, the whole purpose of this is it's the length of time that a game could take. So, like it's more of a. I think it's fine.
Okay. How long's the video so far? What's the total amount of time we've been doing this for?
It is 30 minutes and 31 minutes.
I guess. I mean, that to me just. I have no idea.
This is also we're still recording, Callum. You do.
I know we're still recording. We need to make a decision as to whether to do
I think
another game.
we leave it here and say if you've gotten this far, dear God. But
I hope you enjoyed my mastery of sealed play that we talked about. My great display of skill.
Yeah, and if you think I made any misplays, don't tell me. I don't want to know.
Tell him. Send him several messages explaining what he should have done better.
Thank you very much for listening. I have been David, Baron von Fabulous Lark.
And I've been Callum, the good Dr. Young.
We've been Screechbone Commentaries. We'll hopefully see you again soon. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.